right. Hello, everyone. So today I'm joined by Igor Arkhipov, and he's a super BA or very strong in the business analyst space. So, Igor, welcome and thanks very much for your time. What's your professional background?
Thanks, Alan. It's great to be here. So thanks for your invitation and for kind words. My professional background, well, quite obviously it is business analysis. So I've been doing it for, I don't know, 12, 13-ish years. So I would say that, when people ask me, what do I do? I'm a BA by trade. That's kind of the core of what I'm doing. Plus, some other little bits and pieces that are needed to perform the key PE job on the projects. So here it all started, as I said, quite a few years ago. And my very first place I worked for was like a tiny little web development studio back in Europe, in Russia. And they were building a banner exchange mechanism. So, when you've got a big website or portal, how they used to call them back in the day. And there was a little tool that would allow you to manage the advertisements on your website. So that's where I kind of started. And my first gig with them was actually a software tester. But I lasted for maybe 2 months as a tester. Then I tried myself as a developer. I lasted for a bit longer, maybe 6 to 10 months. Realized, nah, I'm not going to be a good developer. It's like not my piece of cake. And then somehow, luckily, they had an opening for a. It wasn't called a business analyst at the day. I think it was a systems analyst or something like that along the line. So they just asked me if I wanted to try, and I was like, sure, because obviously I'm not very good at dev side of things. And that was a nice start for a very interesting career so far. So yeah, that's how it all started. And since then, I worked in a couple of e-commerce businesses, mostly around, web and digital. Then moved on to Kaspersky Lab, which is a cybersecurity organization. So that was a little bit of a change. So with them, I was more involved in the customer support side of things. So they've got really huge support department, as you can imagine. So they're supporting the users all around the world. I think they even have some users in the Antarctica. So on the polar stations, some of the devices are protected by their software. So they get users literally all over the world. And my job there was to look after business processes for the technical customer support function. So that was an interesting change. And as a part of being at Kaspersky, around the same time I moved to Australia. And luckily, because they have offices, as I said, all around the world, I managed to keep a contract with them to finish some of the projects. And then when it was time to move on, I found myself a nice place at an agency called Isobar. And with them, I have spent the last about 6 years. So I think it lasted much longer than I expected when I joined them, because I haven't worked for agencies prior to that. And I had some, misconceptions around how it is going to be, but it's been a nice ride so far. Although Isobar got rebranded a couple of months ago, so now I called Merkle. But it's kind of same business, a bit bigger than it used to be, but same people and doing the same thing.